Hey there, this is Elizabeth, the teaching artist for the Timken Museum of Art with another art tutorial for you. Today we're going to use art to relax. Taking time to slow down and work on an artwork has been proven to reduce stress and anxiety. It helps us to stay in the moment, not regretting the past, nor worrying about the future. But since I'm not in the classroom where I can hand you a coloring book to fill in, we are going to have to make our own. And along the way, we're going to learn something new. For today's project, we're going to be inspired by the mid-century modern art and design movement. It was an American design movement that occurred roughly between the 1930s and into the 1960s. Within the art of this time, you will find clean lines, organic curves, and a mixed use of visual textures and materials. In addition, it was unconventional and blurred the lines between art and design. Unlike many other art movements, mid-century modern art was not only evidenced in fine art, but also in architecture and furniture design of the time. Sleek lines, uncluttered decoration with pairings of organic and geometric shapes defined this period in art. And it continues today to be highly valued and popular. For our project today, we are going to utilize mid-century modern art to inspire us to create a simple design for a picture frame. And inside this picture frame, you will be using color to express how you feel. Before we get started, I need to talk about organic versus geometric shapes. But before I can even do that, I want to define what a shape is. A shape is just a closed space that's created by a line. And then geometric shapes are shapes made out of points and lines, and that would include triangles, squares, and circles. And last but not least, we have organic shapes. They are round in appearance, and they are similar to things you'll find in nature. In this slide, you can see some great examples of organic shapes. They can be leaves, they can be flowers, they can be butterflies. And here we have geometric shapes, shapes created with points and lines. Often geometric shapes will be somewhat angular, although ovals, half circles, and spheres are still geometric. All right, now we just have to go through the art materials. We need colored pencils, a pencil, 2 pieces of paper, and a ruler. Before you start the project, it'd probably be a great idea for you to watch the whole thing first so you know what you're about to do. All right, moving forward, I need you to choose 1 geometric shape and 2 organic shapes. Go ahead and just draw them on one of those sheets of paper. And then on that same sheet of paper, I want you to draw 3 frames, just 3 small boxes with frames inside them, because we're going to practice using just 1 geometric shape and 2 organic shapes to create a pattern for our frame. So again, you're only going to use 2 organic shapes and 1 geometric shape to combine together to create a pattern for your frame. Try out different combinations of those shapes. Try making them bigger, smaller, add some details in the center of them. Play around with them a little bit in these quick studies so that when you go to make your final project, you'll already know what you're going to do. After you decide which one you like the best out of all your sketches, then I want you to create a picture frame on the inside of that second sheet of paper using your ruler. Make sure to have your favorite quick study right next to you so you can refer to it. You can make changes to that initial sketch if you want to on the final project. It's totally and completely up to you. It's your artwork. I made some changes with the top and bottom of the frame. Instead of the original way that I drew the triangles, I decided on something different right in the moment, and that's completely and totally good. The goal of this project is to be relaxing and simple and maybe learn a thing or two. Speaking of learning, let's talk about the mid-century modern art color combinations. For me, the unique color combinations are an identifier for recognizing mid-century modern art and design. The colors in this movement are very colorful, but steer clear of strong primary colors. Instead, the color palette consists of tints and shades of secondary and tertiary colors. Here's a list of our secondary colors and a list of our tertiary colors. All right, now it's time for the therapeutic coloring in portion of the project. I chose the teal, brown, and white from my palette to color in my design around the edge of my frame. When I do the interior of the frame, I will use a totally different set of colors. Please notice how you can make variations in each of these colors just by the amount of pressure you're putting on the pencil. Alright, now it's time to pick the colors for the interior portion of your frame. Please choose 3 words that describe how you feel in this moment. Write those words on the same sheet of paper that you did the quick studies on. After you pick your words, I want you to pair a color that symbolizes the feeling. For example, I find the color light orange hopeful. I find blue relaxing, and I find purple symbolic of gratitude. The next step is I need you to pull out all of those colors from your color pencil box, variations of those colors. It can be a light blue, a dark blue, a light purple, a dark purple, and so on. And I want you to color in that center space of your frame intuitively. I want you to have no plan. You can overlap the colors to create transitions. You can make some colors darker. You can make some colors lighter. And as you're working, if something starts to represent itself or reveal itself, then go with it. For example, my picture ended up looking a little bit like a water reflection to me. So as I continued to layer color and just color the space in, I started thinking about what water reflections look like to me. However, you do not have to make it look like anything at all. It can just be an exercise in coloring to relax the mind and reduce stress. A couple of things you can play around with as you're layering color is you can harmonize a whole picture by shading over the entire thing with one color. So that's what I was doing with the blue. Now, another technique is to use the eraser as a blending tool. You can erase colored pencil almost all the way, but there is going to be a little bit of residual left over. But you can also use the eraser to smooth out or blend color. In addition, you can use your white colored pencil to soften everything. Similar to the eraser, the white colored pencil is great for blending color together. So I created this image in one sitting. I did the whole project in one sitting. And then this is what I ended up with after I added to it over the course of a few days. I would just sit down and color on it as a way to relax. This art project is not about the final product. This art project is totally about the process. Thank you so much for taking the time to be creative today. Please share what you've made with us, and be well.